Welcome, welcome, welcome back to AG University Podcast. It is I, your professor, speaking at Anna Grace Newell on all major platforms and also at AG University Podcast on Instagram now as well. And I share all things Akashic Records. If you're new here, I'm a clairvoyant medium, intuitive guide, Akashic Records practitioner. And if you're curious how I got into this work, check out episode number 1. I know I get new listeners all the time in all new places, and I always feel like the first few episodes set a really good foundation and set the tone for our curriculum and what we are doing here at AG University. Happy holidays, you guys. I hope everybody had a lovely Christmas. If you celebrate, happy Hanukkah, whatever it is that you partake in, I hope it was enjoyable. Also, at this point, it will already, we're coming out after the New Year's. Happy New Year. I'm recording on December 28th at 7:21 p.m., which is quite late for me to be on the microphone. Producer Courtney is probably like, Anna Grace, I wish you would have gotten this in earlier. Technically, this is the latest that I could record to get it through our production pipeline, to get it onto Apple and Spotify by Wednesday morning, bright and early, 5 a.m. 6 a.m., depending on where you are. And so I feel like this is as real time as I can get. I'm keeping it nice and real time. I was running behind today. That's why I'm recording so late. So if you guys are watching me on YouTube, by the way, I'm on YouTube every Wednesday recording this podcast. You can hang out with me. I'm just chatting into the camera. And it looks like I'm filming a ransom video. I look like I've been kidnapped. Like, first of all, we had a leak on our screen porch, and I always record out on the screen porch because it's like the sunroom and that's our plant room. It feels like a really yummy, sunshiny area of the house. But we had a leak because we had some nor'easter. I think that's what it's called, a nor'easter winds while I was gone. And then, of course, I was gone for 3 weeks. My sister had a baby. I have a new niece. Her name is Winnie. So I was home in Tennessee for a few weeks, and the water was just standing because no one had been in my office. The sunroom is also my office. No one had been out there. So it's like, it smells like an aquarium. It's so yucky and gross. So all that being said, I'm recording in my guest bedroom in front of some blinds with just like one little light on me, and I look like I've been kidnapped. And I'm asking for ransom. I don't know why I thought of that, and it's making me really laugh. But anyways, I'm still super excited to get on the mic. I know it's late in the day. The aesthetic is probably not the most aesthetic, but you know what, guys? I just keep on showing up. One thing about me, I am persistent. No one can outlast me because she's persistent and she's consistent. Even if the situation and the conditions are not ideal, I show up for you guys because I love AG University and I love what we're doing and I love all of you, and we have the best community ever, and the Dancing Unicorns is our mascot in case you didn't already know, and we're the greatest. So I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Whichever, maybe I'm in your ear holes, maybe you're watching me on YouTube, wherever you find me, I appreciate you. And I apologize I'm in my sweatsuit and my scrunchie. So a couple of things that I do want to talk about is, one, we are in a season of stillness, and I've talked about this a lot, how I like to look at the seasons, truly how our body is designed to slow down a bit, especially this kind of like in between Christmas, New Year, starting the new year. I am not a starting the new year off with a bang girly. No. I like to take the whole month of January. That's why if you're not feeling inspired January 1 to vision board and make your resolutions, that's okay. December, January, technically, I think I said this last year, the Akashic Records always says the new year doesn't really start until February. I just embody that because I like to take the whole month of January to just slow the heck down, look at everything. I'm combing through everything in my life currently. That's kind of what I'm doing. Like January, I want to do a nice financial report. Do I do that enough? No, I don't. You guys have listened to my episode with Kristen Such where we talk about money, where I'm like, I don't really have a budget. I should. Here's the thing. It's not like I have endless amounts of money. I think people got tripped up when I said that. Mostly, honestly, this was people on TikTok. It was none of you guys. I feel like you guys got what I was saying. It's not that I have endless amounts of money. I just trust that money's flowing to me. And I'm like, it's good. It's on my credit card. No. All that being said, I absolutely should be running monthly reports, just knowing where I should be putting more energy, maybe where I could hire people to delegate some tasks, just doing some housekeeping the month of January. I've talked about on a previous episode, giving you guys some tools for habits. And the whole month of January, I'm going to have information coming to you guys on setting up our business, setting up ourselves, setting up our future self for success. There's so much coming there. And I didn't want to put that in today because I know this is coming out like the first week of January. And I want to remind you that you've got the whole month of January to set up your new year for success. There's no hurry. We are in a season of slowness. It's winter, evolutionary. We are technically in our hibernation phase. That's what our bodies were designed to do, to go in a little bit, to retreat, to reflect, to meditate, to journal, and there's no hurry. Now, with that being said, I did a mini reading today on myself and it made me giggle and I wanted to share it with you guys because, well, first it started last week. Oh, you guys are going to love this. My dad is 70 years old. I love that man so much. I've talked about him so much on this podcast. We are true soulmates in a, not like, you know what I mean? Like in a platonic way, but who knows? I mean, I really do believe that our family of souls has a little group that we travel with and we continue to reincarnate together. And I just know my dad and I have been together in so many lives. I've told the Roman soldier story on here and on TikTok, but my dad's always been like, I know I was a Roman soldier. And then I did a past life regression years later. And the past life regression lady told me I was a Roman soldier with my dad. It was just such a cool validation because my dad's always told me that. We were just always kind of like, oh, okay, cool. And then I got a reading done and the woman told me the exact same thing. I was like, oh, Dad. He's like, I'll always find you in every life. I'm like, I love you so much. I have the greatest dad and I feel really fortunate. But my parents are older. My mom actually didn't have me until she was 40. Slay, queen. She was like, I'm going to build an empire and then have 2 babies later in life. And so she did. Another thing, we're in no hurry. Okay. That's what I mean. I'm like, I'm 30 and flirty thriving. I'm just chilling and no hurry for anything except being the best version of me. So my parents are in their 70s or approaching 70. I think my dad's about to be 70 in 2 months, technically. 69. Lately, he's felt so in touch with his psychic gifts and he has been playing with his intuition a lot more since I launched AG University. He listens to a couple of the podcasts and my mom obviously is intuitive. Mom's side of the family, my grandmother is a medium like me. So it runs in the family both ways. My dad's an intuitive creature as well. But he wanted to tap into his gifts. And I was like, you know what? I love that you're 70 years old and you absolutely want to start now opening up your psychic abilities. Let's go, Tim. It's never too late. Anyone listening here, the theme is it's never too late and we're not in a hurry. Okay. So I had pulled the same card 2 days in a row out of 53 cards in the deck. I mean, the probability of pulling the exact same card on the third day would just be crazy. I mean, that would just be cuckoo bananas, right? So I go downstairs. My dad's like, I had my cards. I was like, Dad, do you want to do a card pull? You know, you can start using your intuition. And I taught him how to do it. I have a how to read an Oracle cards little mini course. It's like a $30 course and it teaches you how to read unicorn cards that I always read on here. So I took my dad through my Oracle reading, Oracle cards course, which you guys, a little spoiler alert, I think I might design my own Oracle card deck this year. So that's really exciting. I need to make an official dancing unicorns, the dancing U's. I kind of like that. AG University course. I mean, cards. Anyways, so I take my dad through it. He sits down, closes his eyes. He's so tapped in. He immediately connects with his mom who's passed. And he's like, okay, I have a card. And he pulls the exact same card that I have pulled. I know that doesn't really feel like that crazy to you guys because you weren't there. But the fact that I now saw that card the third time, when you see something in threes, you know the universe is like, hello, I'm sending you a message. And the card was water your garden, stillness, nourish yourself, take care of yourself. Now, that has been coming up for me in just massive ways, shouting, which I'm not surprised. And if you guys didn't see my Instagram stories yesterday, do not fear, or the other day, I posted on my main account. I'll probably post on AG University too, but I have been experiencing a little bit of health hiccup. I'm going to call it a hiccup. And I'm going to be fine. But I do think that it's information, it's data. And I've got a lot of doctor's appointments and it stinks because I am in the autoimmune category for several different things. Blah. I'm not even labeling myself with any of it because I believe that I'm a magical unicorn. And even if the doctors are like, you're going to have this for the rest of your life and you need to be on medication, all these things. I'm like, you guys do not know that I'm a lead dancing unicorn. Dancing unicorns, if we don't get sick, I'm going to be fine. No, I know that sickness, it is real and it exists, but I truly do believe that I can just reverse and cure anything with proper dietary just implementation of good nutrient dense foods, cutting out all the things that we know are autoimmune triggers like gluten and dairy and soy. I'm just going through the trial phase right now and seeing what's triggering for me, and less stress and resting. So I've been going through that personally the last month since I was in the Bahamas. That's when I started getting some blood work back that looked pretty scary initially, but I'm feeling really positive. I think everything's going to be okay. It's going to be a learning lesson. If any of you guys have ever been diagnosed any type of autoimmune or anything that sounds scary, I am here and I'm going to continue to deepen this holistic journey. And I'm a researcher. The universe doesn't know who she's fucking with. Actually, the universe does. But I mean, like doctors and everybody that's telling me things right now, I'm like, I will get to the bottom of this if it's the last thing that I do. I will find out everything. I will uncover every rock. I will learn every holistic hack. I will learn every remedy, and I will cure my health to the 10th degree and then some. I will be healthier than ever coming out of this because, it's stuff that I probably need to learn and to know how to take better care of myself. I've been telling you guys that. And then I'll teach you everything that I learn along the way, anything that maybe could help you or prevent any type of health situation for you in your life. So every single thing that happens to me, I know it's just a lesson. I know I'm here to teach and it's my purpose. And I've already had a near death experience. I've had a heart attack. I'm good. Nobody can I'm like a cat. I got 9 lives. You can't kill me. I'm not going anywhere. Unfortunately, doctor, I am a psychic and I've seen the future and I'm not dying yet. So can you imagine if I said that? I I would never. They're like, this woman, she's cuckoo. But so that's what I've been going through personally. But you know what? I feel fine. I look pretty good. I'm gonna come out stronger always. And all that being said, totally checks out that I was getting this water your garden card. And my dad pulled it. His first Oracle card reading, he absolutely crushed it. I'm like, Dad, well, we're 3 for 3 for pulling the exact same card. He goes, wow, I think you really need to rest. It was just so funny. He was so serious. He was like, because my dad's also like a bit, he was an environmental scientist. He is a very, at his core, he is a logical man. He believes in the quantum and angels and all of this. He said he has had too many experiences in his life that are miracles, and it is undeniable. Even though he is a scientist, he cannot deny there is a higher power. And I said, can I get a hallelujah? Amen. Amen, Tim. So, but he was going, the probability of us drawing the exact same card 3 days in a row, you really must need to rest. And I thought, yeah, I do. I probably do. I'd say the doctor's telling me that my blood work is just off the charts, cockamamie bananas. I think it's time for a little break. And this is the information I started channeling. So the first thing that came through was I go upstairs and take a bath, and I was really thinking to myself, okay, resting, right? What does that look like? Because it's not like we're all going to like quit our jobs and, we're in the season of stillness, right? I was like, how does one truly rest without like laying on the couch and rotting? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's a difference of like sitting and just kind of feeling gross and like eating snacks over the holidays, which is fine. We all do it. It's a short amount of time. Don't beat yourself up about it. But like when we come back into January, right, for the whole month, I'm like, how do I continue to rest, continue to nurture my community? How do I do these things without overextending myself? Because it is kind of confusing, because when I hear rest, I think, okay, I'm going to clear my whole day and I'm going to do nothing. That's not totally realistic, but we can still be in seasons of an active rest period, right? Where maybe we work a little less and we take on less and we're not maybe doing as many social, events. You see what I'm saying? I feel like there's a difference. In my mind, a rest day is when I'm just like going to sit on the couch and veg. But I was like, okay, well, I can't like sit on the couch for 6 weeks and veg, because that's not going to cure whatever is going on with my body, because that doesn't make me feel good, right? It all goes back to truly what makes you feel good. So I'm like, okay. So I open the Akashic Records. I'm like, okay, so what's going on with rest? I'm getting the message loud and clear. And that's where my angels were showing me this kind of analogy or this metaphor that I'm going to share with you guys that I thought was so good. They're like, we're trying to send you some new ways that you're going to be using your energy going forward. You're going to completely revamp and do something totally different with your business. Classic me. Just reinvents my business every year. I am a pivoter. You know who else is a pivoter? Taylor Swift. You know who else is a billionaire? Taylor Swift. But it's okay. It's okay to pivot, add branches. I mentioned to you guys that and the information I keep getting from the Akashic Records is like community, doing a membership portal, providing a space for you guys in person, holding space for y'all. So I'm just following the breadcrumbs. I have no idea what it looks like, but I am just existing. And my guides are like, we're trying to help you, but you will not slow down, rest, sit, do nothing. Rest does not mean look at a device or a phone, because we need you to get in the receiving mode so you can receive. They showed me like 2 new ideas were coming towards me, maybe in the next month or so. I don't know. So I'm like, okay. And they're like, you're like a moving boat. And the idea is an airplane, right? And it's trying to land. And you will not stop moving for the airplane to land. The airplane is the idea. Let the idea land. You have to sit still, because if not, if you're just on the run, it's chasing you. It's like, why are you running from me? Ma'am, if you just sat still and cleared out a few hours of your day right now, when we're in this phase of needing more clarity, and let the idea land, the idea will land. You will get clarity and you will execute the next steps. But sometimes we as a society, we are addicted to being busy, feeling busy, doing things constantly, looking for the next thing that we need to complete. I am guilty. I am absolutely guilty. So I wanted to share that metaphor with you guys. One, let it land. Two, we're not in a hurry. We're not in a hurry. So I had this realization. I've been really interested in how basically our personality is like a computer program. Truly, so much of our behavior is just a habit, which is kind of weird, kind of makes me feel like a robot, kind of don't know how I feel about it, but it's also true. Because our brain is lazy, kind of. Sorry, love you guys. No one here is actually lazy, but our brain is just by evolutionary, it's trying to keep us safe and save our energy for whatever it needs, right? To protect us. Well, by preserving energy, our brain kind of just does what it normally does. And I had a perfect example. So it was December 21st. I took like 7 days off of posting Instagram stories. For me, only posting an Instagram feed felt like a break, because I just honestly post a lot, and not having the need to document everything really feels more freeing. The posting isn't hard. It's the capturing and the getting ready. And, sometimes my sister just had a baby. I just wanted to lay in bed with her and hold the baby. And my sister was recovering from a C-section. She didn't want to be on camera. Like, it was just an off camera kind of vibe. So I had committed to being off camera for at least a week. Austin was traveling. He was going to meet me in Memphis from Florida a few days later. His schedules, I was like, I have nowhere to be. I have nothing to do. I'm with my family. And one of my family members came in and needed me to do something. And I found myself getting kind of agitated, because I am I am on this schedule. I'm on this train. I'm going this place. I got to get these things done today. I'm sticking to my whatever time block, whatever energy I have for the day, right? So much that I realized I was like, oh my gosh, I'm glitching right now. Because this is what happens when I start getting annoyed or agitated. I ask myself, Anna Grace, why are you annoyed? And then I'll hear myself being like, oh, because they want me to do this, or they're going so slow, and da da da. Okay, why does that bother you? Next time someone bothers you or frustrates you, ask yourself these questions. Why are you bothered that they need you to do something, or they're moving slow and they're slowing you down right now? And I was like, well, because they're slowing me down. It's not a part of my schedule. It's like an interference. It's a distraction. I'm annoyed. I have limited time and energy. And I was like, listening to myself. I do feel I have really good introspection at this point, but sometimes I'm like, bitch, you're crazy. Where are you going? You don't have anywhere to be. You don't have anywhere to be. Your fiance is not here. I don't have to like cook dinner for him. I not that he demands that of me or anything, but like, you have literally no one to tend to. You have nowhere to go. You're not posting on social media, and last week I'd already batched my podcast episodes when I went to Nashville. I quite literally I didn't have any client sessions. My management was off work. So no one was calling or texting me until January 1. You need to relax. And I realized, oh my gosh, I am addicted. Part of my personality is that I'm addicted to being in a hurry. Like I'm always someone that's in a hurry. And I'm also someone that's kind of running late. They always say there's something there too. Like you're addicted to like the adrenaline rush of like being rushed. And I also fucking hate being rushed. So that is, like you're like putting on your makeup and you're running out the door and you got to go to your workout class and you got to come home and you got to shower and you got to get ready so that you can get your makeup on and go to work and show up and then you got to meet with a friend and then you got to, you get it. You get it. I think it started for me when I lived in Nashville because I always had somewhere to be. I always had things to do. I always had work to do. I always had things to record. And I definitely slowed down a lot in Florida, but like I said, it was my first full year launching AG University, and it really just it exceeded my expectations so much so that I've told you guys like I didn't even know what to do with the amount of people that were coming to me at one time. I was like, holy shit. Well, you got to clone me. Austin, we have a problem. I need you to figure out how to clone me, or maybe you also learn to read the Akashic Records. He's like, ma'am, no. We love Austin. He's our king, but he's not an Akashic Records reader. So you get what I'm saying. There was just a lot. And I take my craft seriously, being the professor, the lead dancing you here, because I want to be a resource. I want to be a guide. I want to help people. I want you to feel better because I know what it feels like to feel shitty and for no one to care that you are suffering. I care. I care. That's why I do this every week. I love it. It's like my purpose for existing. So you get it. Why sometimes it's hard for me to just really turn it off. So this morning I did a little kind of channeled thing around like not being in a hurry and slowing down. And I want to read that to you guys because I do think that we have a hard time resting, okay, and I'm talking about resting is like going on a walk and maybe not listening to a podcast in triple speed, um, or like resting in the sense of like, okay, we're not talking about like rotting on the couch, but it's hard for us to like actually embrace slowness. Like I always talk about how much power there is when you're having a conversation with someone talking really slow, especially if you're going on a date. Like there is so much power as a female talking slow versus being like the crazy, kooky, chaotic girl. The guy is like, whoa, she's coming in hot. She's like yelling at me. There's power in slowness. There's so much power in slowness. And so this is what I wrote down. I've mentioned to you guys before, I use an app called Otter, not affiliated, just freaking love it. And so I'll go into the Akashic Records and I'll read what I'm seeing and then it transcribes it into the app. So this is what my angels were saying, just kind of about rushing, but this is more directed towards me, but maybe it'll land for someone else. You're always in a rush, always in a hurry, always feeling an urge to do more, create, show up, speak, act a certain way, be seen in a certain manner that is well received. You are not a pet monkey. You are not here to perform, to perform, to perform. You are here to live a beautiful life indeed. So quit rushing me. That is the root, don't you see? You are addicted to being in a hurry. Where are you going? That made me laugh. Where are you going? This rush, this scurry, where are you always going in such a hurry? You see that the more that you slow down, relax into the body, ground, connect back into earth, connect with yourself, the more you realize that you do not have so many tasks to do all the time. You do not have to do all the things that you think you need to do. Offload them, delegate, whatever it is that you need to do. You only need to show up and create when you feel you have something to say. And yes, the consistency piece is necessary. Realistically, that only requires an allocated portion of your day. All day, every day, all you do is hurry, hurry, hurry. Take a step back and appreciate all that you've built. Take a step back and appreciate the response that you've already received, how many people you have already helped. So slow down, slow down. There's nowhere for you to be in such a rush. The more that you can slow down, the more that this situation will unfold easily, gently, quietly. And that is exactly what you need. So I wanted to read that. I wrote that earlier today. It just made me laugh. They're like, "Where are you, ma'am? Where are you going?" And all of us here at the dance, I was about to say the dancing use at AGU, the dancing use, we all believe that what's meant for us is not going to miss us. I really do believe that. And I've given you guys so many examples on this podcast where I've seen my life go down two different paths and they really kind of end up back in the same place. It's like the universe is like, okay, you can put in the destination on the GPS, or we can go for this kind of fun ferry ride, but you're going to get the same place. You're going to end up wherever you meant to go, because I really do believe that our soul agrees to, our higher plan, our God's plan when we come into this body. And some of the major mile markers, we're just not going to miss them. What we're meant to do, it's not going to miss us. And honestly, I feel that we actually block ourselves or slow ourselves down from our purpose when we are addicted to busy, when we are addicted to putting 90 things on our to-do list so that we can check them off so that we feel productive at the end of the day, because that's some type of like validation or worthiness or something that we need, or avoidance of feeling stillness because there's something that maybe we're not ready to sit with. Whichever route, whichever one of those sounds good to you. For me, it's just I constantly am striving for the next thing, the next wave, the next, or if people need things from me, I want to be there for them. I want to have a resource ready for them. I want to provide something. If they have a question, I'm like, oh shoot, I could create this and I can make this. My brain never stops creating things to a point where it's really crazy. But like I said, it's fine. It's all going to get created. I just make a big old massive kind of running to-do list on just like ideas and just dump them there. And then as the time arrives, we'll know, you'll know, everyone, we do what we can. We do the best we can. We don't have to do it all at once. And I think that that's something that so many people don't realize when it comes to our health, when it comes to this autoimmune, when it comes to our cortisol levels. You got to check in with yourself and say, am I all of these things that I've put on my plate? Is that something that I really actually have to do? Or do I feel like I have to do this? Could I ask for help? Am I not asking for help? Ooh, that's always a good one. Have I asked for help? Am I just taking on this absolutely monstrosity pile of work because I just am like, no, I am an independent woman. Yeah. Yeah, we are. I love that. You bad as hell. Yes, you are. But you know what independent, strong women do? We ask for help when we need it. Because that is that makes us more magnetic. We don't want to be drained and then resenting people, because nobody wants to be around me when I'm absolutely stretched so thin. And there have been times last year where I was stretched very thin. Y'all remember I moved a million times. I just had so many other just big life events on my plate and just happened to play it out that way. This year, I have a little bit more stability in creating a foundation and creating systems. This is like my year of creating systems to really support my energy so that I can take immaculate care of my health and nurse myself back to 100%. And that's okay. I probably should have created some of these systems earlier, but like all of us, we're human. I fell victim to the urgency, right? It's like I put something on my to-do list and I'm so urgent to execute it. It's like it has to happen right now. Here's the thing. It doesn't have to happen immediately. This is the whole reason I wanted to record this episode, is that I do believe we as human beings create this narrative or a false sense of urgency around everything in our life because we don't want to disappoint someone. We don't want to miss a deadline. We don't want to do this. We don't want to whatever. And I get it. If you've got like the biggest presentation of your career, that's one thing. But I do think on the day to day, things aren't maybe as urgent as we feel they are. Maybe we just are in this rush. Like I said, all of that kind of ramps up our cortisol. It's like, sometimes it's like we get addicted to the drama a little of like, oh, I have to do this and I have to execute this. And maybe if I put this pressure on myself, then I will do it. It's like, okay, hold up. Let's zoom out, pinch, zoom. Is this really that urgent? Am I addicted to being busy? Do I know how to sit still? Do I know how to ask for help? You see how there's all these other themes that are coming up. And just as when those moments that I told you where I felt frustrated with someone, I'm like, you're talking too slow, hurry up. I'm snapping my fingers because I'm like, I'm a woman on the move. I got a mission. I got things to do. But it's like, no, I can't do it all overnight. So just sit back and also enjoy the fact that you're here living life, having a beautiful experience. I'm breathing. I don't have to be on a ventilator right now. Like anybody that's listening to this in your ears and you can hear me and you have your hearing, what a gift. What if you couldn't hear? I mean, it really is some of the simplest things that we cannot take for granted. Your health. Listen, when my doctor called me when I was in the Bahamas and she said, "Listen up, sister, something's not right. Hate to bum you out, but you need to call me immediately." I was like, oh, no, it's the worst. It's the worst. So right now, if you got your health, I promise you, what's meant for you is not going to miss you. And I'm giving you permission in this podcast right now that you are allowed to slow down. And that just means that we still do the things that we have talked about on this podcast before. We still have a plan. I feel like planning is even more important if you want to slow down, because then you can plan your day according to what works best for you. And you can really get intentional with how you want to spend your energy. And then the rest of the day, you can do something lovely. Go on a walk, go to Pilates. I'm not saying slowness. I think that's where I'm trying to articulate is that slowness does not mean in rest and stillness. All this does not mean that you sit on your couch and you rot. No, we still want to move. We still want to feel good. We want to still feel vivacious and vitality in our lives, but we don't have to do it in such a damn hurry. Like, why are we always in a hurry? We don't have to be in a hurry. So we can plan our day out. We can have our nice little walk. Maybe we listen to our podcast, not in quadruple speed. We're power walking up a mountain. I don't know. Maybe you got to do what you got to do. I'm not going to stop you, but we just enjoy it and we're just present and we schedule time appropriately so that we're not in an urgent rush. And then also we observe our calendar and we look, what is actually pressing? Has someone else put some of their stuff on my plate that's pressing for them, but that's not actually pressing for me? That's not my thing. That's not my issue. That's another place too where we can just maybe tighten up our boundaries a little bit and be like, listen, you're putting this pressure on me. Your lack of planning. What is this saying? It's like your lack of planning is like not my emergency. I just botched that cliche so bad. But it's like your emergency is not my emergency. So everything that's going on in your life, I just want to remind you, you've got plenty of time. You can be my dad who was 70 years old, starting to learn to tap into his psychic mediumship abilities. You could be my mom who built an empire and then had me at 40. She was just chilling. She was like, I never felt any pressure in the world to have kids. I was on my own timeline. You can be like me and schedule in a little extra me time where I'm allowed to take an hour a day to go on a walk and just journal and just do silly little fairy playthings and play with my oracle cards and just kind of lollygag around. And it's okay because I still know the main direction that I'm going. And when we take those times to slow down a little bit and journal and have a little bit more time for us, we are allowed to advance on our soul's journey because we're making time for the next steps to come through. Like I said, I know we're all busy. I know there's going to be people that are like, I have kids, I have craziness, I have all the things. It really goes back to also, are we giving ourselves permission to put ourselves first at least a little tiny sliver of the time? And also, are we giving ourselves permission to ask for help? Because I want to just put that in your ear hole that you are worthy and deserving of all of the help and assistance in the world. And you're doing amazing. Okay. Everyone here is doing great. And I'm so proud of you. And this is just kind of really hammering home the importance of rest and stillness and really why we slow down to speed up. Because I love that. It's like, we're not here to just work. It's like what my angels were telling me. You're not here to perform. Oh my gosh. It's like, you're not a pet monkey. That made me laugh so hard. It's so true though. We're not. It's like dance, monkey, dance. It's not like God created us and it was like, and she will dance and perform. And by dance and perform, I mean putting on a show, hosting people, tending to them, doing the things like we as women, we're nurturers, we're caregivers. We do a lot for people that we love, but that's not what we're here to do. We're also here to have a beautiful life and to enjoy our life and enjoy being in this human body and in this human experience because it is so temporary. It's so temporary. I promise. That's why it's like, I don't even really take anything that seriously. Even when I get negative health information, I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. Checks out, feels on brand for me. Not surprised. I'm sure there's a whole slew of people then I'm going to be able to help on their healing journey. And honestly, I'm kind of excited about it because I'm just not, I'm not scared. It is what it is. I don't feel like I take anything that seriously. So yeah, this was just like a huge, long rant, but time is not running out. Check and see what areas of your life are carrying a little bit of false sense of urgency. Because oftentimes I see that's connected with a little bit of anxious energy or needing validation or needing, or placing our worth. I think for me, my worth is attached to my career and identity more so than anything. It's just who I am. I've always been a successful creator. I will continue to create, rah, rah. That's like been my kind of mantra, but it's like, I'm also allowed to be a human. I'm allowed to just exist. We're human beings, not human doings. Remember that. I always love that. We're allowed to be. And I saw that there was like a quote that's been floating around on Instagram. It's like a rushed child is often an anxious child, meaning if we were always rushed, our parents were always in a hurry, we were rushed as a kid, that can create anxiety in the child. And I think about that still for me in my inner child. It's like I still rush. I'm in a rush to do things, to go places. And it's like I'm kind of creating anxiety for myself that's unnecessary. And I'm not saying that some situations aren't urgent in your life, because I hear you. Girl, I hear you. I got things. I got bills to pay. I got people that need me. I get it. But we are allowed to give our inner child and the children in our life and our loved ones and everyone some slowness and some stillness, especially in the winter. Get super clear with what feels good to you right now. Set your schedule up for success, but you're allowed to schedule in a little bit of space, okay? So that your ideas can land. Let those ideas land. If you're looking for clarity right now, I promise you, if you create a little space, stillness, take yourself on a date, take yourself on a walk, take yourself on a journaling date, go get a matcha, make it cute, you will get the next steps, okay? Thank you guys for coming to class. I love you so much. Send this, share it with a friend, someone who needs a little bit of help reducing some anxiety. Listen, I'm here to just get us all on this mission together. We are going to be low cortisol girlies. I'm going to come up with some type of new healing remedy hybrid. I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to come to me. Maybe it's some kind of breath work, movement we're all going to do together. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. We're all going to do it together, and we're just going to be living nice, stress-free lives. Does that sound good? And remember, there's power in slowness. When we talk slow, we walk slow, we move slow. It's like we're the sexy, mysterious person in the corner. It really kind of gives that mystique. And I'm usually never that person. I talk quite fast. Actually, someone commented the other day and was like, Anna Grace, you talk so fast. And then someone DM'd me and was like, I initially thought you talked really fast, but I accidentally had my podcast on 1.5 speed and I didn't know it. I was like, oh my gosh, because I do kind of talk fast, but me on 1.5 is quick. I try to talk slower over here and softer. Anyways, I'm still rambling. I've got to go. It's 8:00. Zane and Austin and I are going to watch. We've been watching the Pirates of the Caribbean. I forgot how good that movie was. It's pretty good. Love you guys so much. Remember, we have all of January. We're going to get ourselves together on our highest timeline. Keep coming back. I've got some cool guests coming. Lots of fun, exciting things this year. And I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Talk to you soon. Bye. As always, I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in. If you feel so called or if it feels aligned, I would love for you to leave me a review here. I always love reading your beautiful thoughts and messages. And also you can find me at Anna Grace Newell on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And I will link all of my courses, AG University course curriculum in the show notes, along with if you're interested in booking an Akashic Records reading with me. My scheduling link goes out in my newsletter. It goes out once a month and it's completely free. I would love to have you there. As always, I'm a proud professor and you get an A+ for making it all the way through the end. Love you.